Now let us install Django in our machine. So what you have to do, you have to create a folder. In that folder, open CMD from here. Now you have to create a virtual environment. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to write this command python-m venv and your virtual environment name. So let me name it as venv. What it will do, it will create a separate virtual environment where Python is going to be installed in that virtual environment. Now we will wait for a minute. Once this thing will be done, we will be going to activate that environment. You can see a folder is created called as venv. Now let me activate my virtual environment. So I'll be writing venv sas scripts / activate. You can see my virtual environment is being activated. Now what we will be going to do, the first thing that we will be going to do, we will be going to install Django. So Django, we all know that a framework for web development. So we will be going to install this thing. So we'll be writing pip install Django. So you can see now Django download has been started. It will approx takes around 10 to 30 seconds of your time. Now you can see Django is installed. Now let me clear my screen. Next thing that you have to do, you have to create a Django project. So for this, you have to use this command. Django-admin start project and the project name is crud_project. Now let me click on enter. You can see the project has been created. If you go inside it, you can see a CRUD project folder has been created. And after that, what we will be going to do, we will be going to inside this project. So I'll be writing cd crud_project. And then I have to run this file. So the file name is manage.py. So the code to run Python manage.py run server. So this is the code to run your Django application. Now let me click on enter. And you can see my local URL has been displayed. So on this port, 8000 port, my Django application is running. Let me just copy this thing and paste it here. You can see this is how you can install Django in your machine. Once the Django has been installed in your machine, what you have to do next? You have to create a Django application. So the code for this is python manage.py start app and the application name is my app. If you click on enter, you can see your application has been created. The first thing that I have to do, I have to open my Sublime application. So this is a text editor that I am going to use for this project. Now I'll be clicking on open folder. And I'll be selecting this CRUD project folder. You can see there are various types of file present in this folder. The first file that we have is something called as manage.py file. Now this file helps us to start the server, create the application and perform the migration. You can say manage.py is the main file through which we can run our Django application. Next we have SQLite 3. So this file is a database related file and all the information happening in a database will be stored here. Then we have a folder called as crud_project. In this folder, there are various types of file present. Let me talk about one by one. First of all, we have settings.py file. It will contain all the project level setting like database, security, and the various applications which are installed in Django. So all the security related thing will be defined in settings.py file. Basically, this file provides the security to your Django application. Next, we have urs.py file. it will map the website URL to the correct view function. For example, if you remember our example like www.dataspoof.info/blog. So it will map the blog to the blog view function. Then we have something called as WSGI file. It will help you to run the Django on your web server like Apache or Nginx server. So this file is very much important when you want to deploy your project online. Similarly, we have something called as asgi.py file. It supports the real-time application like doing chatting and sending notification. So all the type of asynchronous task you can do with this asgi.py file. So this is the CRUD project folder. Now let me talk about the My Application folder. So let me create some more files here which are required. The first file we have is something called as forms.py. Then some folder also. One folder is called as templates. Don't worry, I'll be going to talk about one by one. And one more folder which is called as static. Okay, let me talk about first of all. First of all, we have something called as models.py file. In this file, you will define your schema, like all the column names of that application. For example, we have employee. So all the column names of employee, let us say employee ID, employee name, employee address, employee salary, employee department. So all the schema of the database will be defined inside the models.py file. Then we have views.py file. Here it will contain all the business logic, like all the main logic that you want to write. All the things will be written in views.py file. Then we have something called as one more file here, which is called as app label urls.py. So urls.py. So this is a app label urls.py. It will define the app application URL. Next we have something called as admin.py. So here you can register your model in the Django built-in admin panel. So for all the registration kind of thing you can do with this admin.py file. It basically help you to perform data management through a user interface. Then we have a migration folder. It will contain all the database change, like it will track all your databases changes. So this is the migration file. Then we have test.py. So here what you do, here you will write all your test cases. Then we have templates folder. Template folder is basically where you write and place all your HTML template. Then we have a static folder. Here you will specify all the CSS, JavaScript and image types of thing in the static folder. So this is all about Django. Now in the next video, we will be trying to create CRUD application with the Django. The first thing that I am going to do while creating a CRUD application is, I will go to urls.py and I will specify the mapping to this urls.py, like application level urls.py. So let me do that. So here we can see I have specified the path and I have included the myapplication.urls function. So here including the app label URLs in the urls.py. So this is my first step. The second step will be, I am going to my settings.py file and I am specifying my application. So here we can see debug is set to true, but where you are deploying the things in production, you have to set it to false. Here you can specify like what are the hosts that you want to allow in your application. Now I am going to define my application here. So if you remember, my application name is my app. So I will write it here. These all related to the security point of view, like the middleware. This is the templates. This is your database that you have already specified, like db.sqlite 3. And these are the time zones. And this is the static folder. So if you have a different static folder name, what you can do, you can change it out. Currently my static folder name is same as that, so I will leave as it is. So this is my second step where I have changed the settings.py file. Basically what I have done, I have added this my application in the installed apps. The third step is to define the schema of your database. So if you remember, in the models.py file, we define the schema of our database. So basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a class name as book. It will contain three things like title of the book, author name, and the published date. And then a function which will convert the title into a string. And then a string method which will display you the title. So this is the schema that I am going to create. So remember that this is our third step. The fourth step is to specify your app label URLs. So I'm going to app label URL. I'm defining my all the app label URL here. So here we can see from Django.urls importing path. Then I'm importing the views, and then I'm going to create few things. This is my main. After that we have create method, then we have update method, and then we have delete method. So let us say we have 4 books, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you want to update the first one, so you'll write like update/1, update/2. Similarly, if you want to delete, you can write like delete/1. So this is my URL writing that I'm going to define in my urls.py file. Next, I'm going to define my logic in my views.py file. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to define the logic for our CRUD application, create, read, update, delete. So here we can see, first of all, I'm going to create a new book by doing the post request. If it is valid, a book will be created. And it will render this page, which is called as create_book.html, which I am going to create later in the templates folder. Then I am going to list all the book. Basically, it is called as read method. So here with the help of all function, I am displaying all the books. Then I am going to update any book. Like let us say I am going to update my first book. So it will be like update/1. So here we can see we are updating the book. After that, I'm going to delete a book. Let us say user want to delete a book. So he can do a post request to delete the book. Now what I have to do, I have to go to a template and I have to create all this thing like book_list.html, create_book.html, delete_book.html, and create_book.html. So this is going to be my next step. You can see it here. So this is my booklist.html. This is my create_book.html. And this is my delete_book.html. Now I am going to create a form where I will take the user input. So I'll be going to forms.py and I'm taking the input like title, author, published date, all the things. The next step is to perform the migration. So I'll be going to use this command python manage.py make migration. And then I'm going to migrate. You can see my migration is done. Now let me clear my screen. After that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to run my application. So python manage.py run server. You can see my system is running. Now let me click on this link. You can see my application is running. Now we can add a new book. I will click on add a new book. Give the title, let us say Harry Potter. Author is, let us say, Kipling. Published date is, let us say, 12/8/2020. I will click on save. You can see my book will be displayed. Similarly, if I have to edit something, so I will click on edit. Instead of Kipling, let us say Rudolph. Click on save. You can see my details has been updated. And if I want to delete this thing, what I can do, I can just click on delete and you can see the book has been deleted. So this is how you can perform CRUD operation using Django.